Hey everybody, this is Hawaii the Sponge from LowKeyHighEntertainment. So I've been kind of um, avoiding YouTube for one specific reason. We had a run-in problem with let's say Vortex RP project. So if anybody didn't know, and if you've looked into a different game by a developer by Nick. He made a Greed of Man game that was a legitimate scam on the players. And I guess a couple of this group of kids or whatever, they had this idea that they wanted to create the game itself and like make it playable and all that jazz. They've had run-ins with scam issues coming up between like stolen assets and things like that. It's a whole conundrum of a story. But I decided to help these kids out, and I went into try to help them. Like basically, I went from a volunteer to basically the main dev, um, which we found out that even though we were developing the game on time and everything was seeming to go pretty well. The project manager, who's a younger kid or whatever, I guess did decide to do this for a scam. Is what it looks like. He just kind of let the devs go. He blamed us for a couple things. Stole a bunch of Patreon money and bounced out. So I've talked to some of the people in the group because I really feel bad. Like my company's not really like that. Like I mean, we're not. I say really, we're not like that at all. In fact, the Patreon that we do have up on the, I guess it's in the description below. But if you click that Patreon, everything right now is free for it. You might get like a demo earlier or something like that if you do decide to do the Patreon, but it's not exactly necessary. The donations really there just to like pay the devs and things like that. Even if it's like a couple dollars in chump change. Um, but that's just like you don't have to donate to see everything on the Patreon. Whereas a lot of places it's like, hey, in order to get my Discord and in order to get my whatever, you have to subscribe to whatever. Like it doesn't really matter to us at the moment, and it probably won't matter much in the future. But you know, being able to look at the Patreon page, you can kind of see updates as to what's going on. And I really like feedback from players because I know players know what they like. So when you comment on things and tell me like, oh man, this thing looks dope, or this thing's like, you know, et cetera and so on. So like it's one of those big ordeals, I guess. So be vocal. My Discord's in the description below. Just be vocal about any of the games coming out. Like what time they're coming out, or like maybe if you guys want to see like a sneak peek here and there. Or just anything. Like say like, oh man, I would really like you to add this weapon, or maybe there's like a cool kung fu combo that you saw Jackie Chan do. Man, that'd be really neat in the game. Or something. Just let me know. And the whole point of us making games is to like let the players enjoy it. We're not after your wallets. We're not after any of that bullshit. We're not after any of that scummy crap. We do have a link below, I believe. Um, well, it's a link to our shop. Right now, we're not making our own products at the moment. It's done through a third party, I believe, Printify. And I went and bought a couple shirts. Right now, we have a drive going on for the fires in Maui. Um, we have a hand drawn shirt. Well, I guess it's not really drawn by hand; it's drawn by pen, I guess. Um, but through Photoshop and everything. It's a really cool shirt, and I know it's a little pricey. I think it's like $30 or something, but The reason it's pricey is because the price cut is um, pretty substantial on our part. I think we only make like 25% a shirt or something like that. Um, but nevertheless, the shirt itself, it's like I said, it's $30. We get like 25% of it, and then that 25%, all of it, is going to the Maui Culture Center, which is in Lahaina. Um, right now, the Culture Center is burnt to the ground. A lot of Hawaiian artifacts and old pieces of our past and everything. They've been burnt away. So uh, the Culture Center, instead of like deciding to use the money to rebuild right now, they're using the money to help those out in needs. I know that like more than 100 people have died from the fires, and 200, 300 of them are out of their businesses, they're out of their homes, lost their cars, lost everything in those fires. And so they're purchasing tents, generators, clean water and food, a place to put the kids and calm them down and things like that. And they work local with grassroots only, so it's not they don't use state or federal government in a lot of their funding, well, in any of their funding. So it's Hawaiians helping Hawaiians out, and I mean Hawaiians as in people that live in Maui. I know that there's a misconception that like white people live there too, black people live there, you know, um, and we're all Ohana, um, on the island. So, um, but that shirt, it's in the description below. Feel free to buy it. It's a really nice shirt. I went and bought one myself, and it actually fits really well, and it's pretty sturdy. So that's kind of what I like about it. It's like 100% cotton. I would wash it on cold first, and then wash it regularly afterwards. That way the new ink definitely settles, and the shirt prevents shrinking or whatever. Um, but yeah, it's a really nice shirt, and we also have a Project Kiana gamepad. I believe it's like $10 or something. The proceeds to that go directly to the devs. So it'll be like cents on the dollar as we sell it. I'm sure like I'm pretty sure it's like $1.25 a piece. But I mean, it's something that gets us started. We haven't released our demo yet, so we're we're waiting on that in December. Everything seems to be going okay. The project Instinct or the Vortex RP, because our guys were taking off of that project, will be solely focusing on Project Kiana, so it might actually be out a little sooner than what we anticipated on, which is good. But I mean, then again, we're gonna go back and forth on this. But when we release the demo's not like a traditional demo, and I really don't want to call it an alpha because it's not. But the demo is more of like a prototype. So when we release it, the whole point of the release is to throw it into Steam, throw it into Microsoft on Xbox. Let them see what kind of game we're making. Give them a good glimpse of like, oh, okay, this is kind of nice. This is a cool concept. And then from there we get the approval that it's an actual game. We'll have an IMDb on it. Voice actors, voice actresses, all of our devs will be listed on it. You know, but we need to make sure that that is greenlit before we completely continue. And one of the biggest things is that prototype. Usually, when a company releases a prototype, it's very personal. That they don't usually let other players or players in general test it out and everything. And I think it's kind of important. So there's going to be a couple broken things. There's going to be some bugs in there, obviously, and it won't be as polished as you would think that a video game would be. But that's really there just for like player input. That you play it for an hour or so, and you're like, oh yeah, I really like this. This could go. This thing's a little messed up, or whatever. We want to hear your feedback on it, and that way we can develop it better as it goes. And then we'll actually release a real demo later on, probably 6 months later after we polish some things up, and it'll be like 10 levels or something. It'll be a substantially bigger demo, and then from the demo we'll probably get some beta access, just to make sure to polish it up one more time, that you guys get to see all the cool lighting, all the cool graphics, the actual in-game models of the characters, like brought to life rather than just the picture, um, things like that, and you'll be able to comment on that. Obviously, we want you to just comment on everything, but that's kind of the whole ordeal. Is that like make sure you're commenting, make sure you're keeping up with things. But Project Kiana is underway. It's on time, and it looks really good for what's going on right now. So December is my thought process. Late December and maybe early January, because I know the the holidays come up. We've got Halloween coming up, and I know that a lot of the devs, we like to dress up and stuff, because like Halloween's kind of a big ordeal for a bunch of gamers. We also have Thanksgiving, where we're traveling, seeing family, and then Christmas. So we might get a little delayed because of the holidays, because my devs aren't exactly paid yet. I mean, between the Patreon that's up and the sales items and everything, it's not enough to quit your job and do this full time. So we're hoping with the demo, we start the Kickstarter, people really enjoy it, and we start moving on. We're hiring more devs. We're really getting more involved into the project. In order to give you guys a game that looks good, plays good, feels good. But I will say that we'll probably start Dre's game somewhere within the middle of Project Kiana. I have a list of upcoming devs. They're more of a junior dev group, and originally I was gonna have the junior devs do something completely different, release their title for free, and then go from there. But I do want to, like, because our company isn't exactly fully fledged out yet, and not even our devs, like our main devs, aren't getting paid at the moment. So I'm thinking it'll be a big relief once we get the demo out. We start paying devs what they deserve, and then I don't see why our juniors wouldn't get the same for this game. And Dre's game's an easier game. It's a side scroller. It's 2D pixel, and we have some pretty cool like 2D pixel artists going on. So we might start development somewhere within the halfway point. We'll keep you updated on that, and obviously we'll show you a little bit of here and there. But that game is going to be on Steam, and it's also going to be on Android. I do plan on putting it on Linux. I don't know if anybody actually uses that anymore. I know I know they do, but I mean, and then I do kind of want to do it for iOS too, but the iOS market is a little strange, so I want to make sure that we don't fall into the whole like, oh, we can only make this game for iOS, or like anything like that. Worst case scenario, and I don't know if I can say this, but we will put it on iOS at some point in time, and I think one of the best ways to do that is to visit the LowKeyHighEntertainment site, which also will stand up. It might actually be out in the next couple months. I've been holding on to it for a little bit, and I think as we're gaining more people, I think that it's better to just kind of release it and really give everybody a look at what we're doing and all that stuff. But the game will be, well, at least Dre's game will be 100% downloadable on the website. So I might make a iPhone app for it. I have an iPhone myself, 14. So I mean, I've got the development tool to break it and put it in there. So I might do some janky things. I'm not saying that I will, but I'm saying I might do some janky things to get that game onto the Apple, because I know that it's just hard to get it on the marketplace when you're an indie company, and they want to charge you an arm and a leg just to produce it. You wind up not making the money that you spent trying to do that. So we're getting a little more in depth on that, but so like I said, I just wanted to give you guys an update as to what's going on with all the things and all the kinds and all the stuff. We're also releasing our Patreons. I'm trying to do something specific for them, especially with Project Kiana, and I think because it's like an OG thing. That if you do sign up for the Patreon, I feel obligated to give you something, that not everybody else has. Like I do appreciate, helping the studio out, helping pay the devs. Like I said, we've got just I think honestly we were just missing the mocap suit, which I think is like a $200 or something like that. But that's yeah, that's really all we're missing. So as far as paying our devs and things like that, we'll be 100% transparent, both on the website. Well, we'll try to be on the website. It might not update as often as we wanted to, but the Discord and the Patreon will definitely be updated. So like, say you spend $10 on on the Patreon for your month, then you can go over here to donations, and we post in like where you can donate to, and then like whatever you donate. So we'll be like, okay, so we got $10 from this donator, and we'll put a pool up there that's like, like LowKeyHighEntertainment has this much money. So when we buy something, we'll post it to you guys and be like, hey, look, we bought a mocap suit with this, or like we split it between the devs. That way it's 100% transparent from what you see. So that way exactly where your money's going, because I know a lot of companies don't do that, and a lot of indie game developers don't do that. That they find issues with, or they find cheaper asset things to buy. So they find an asset pack for like $20, or like if it was free on Steam, they'll download it for free and be like, oh yeah, I bought this for the original $139, and not show a receipt for it. So like, I don't know, they just they're in it for the money, and they just try to pull a veil over your eyes. So I'm trying to make I'm going to make my company just 100% transparent. Obviously, I won't tell you guys what the devs are spending their money on. I don't really think that's important, and their privacy life or whatever. But but you will definitely know if I'm like, oh yeah, I paid my devs $100 or whatever. Then it'll deduct from the pot and be like, yeah, okay, so we're paying them $100, to do whatever, etc. and so on. But hopefully we get everything kind of going on in motion. I don't really I don't know. I just don't really want donations at the moment, until the website comes out, Project Kiana's demo comes out, the LLC's built, all of that stuff. Because right now it's a sole proprietorship, but once it goes into an LLC, then the donations will make a lot more sense, things like that. But I mean, if you do feel like you want to donate and help out with all this, then that power to you. It's pretty awesome, and I think specifically I'm going to do something interesting with all the Patreons. I think I went ahead and pinned a post. I think it's right here. Yeah. Okay. I think it's a $5 Patreon. Um, yeah. So okay. So the game when I release Project Kiana, like the actual game, it'll probably be anywhere from like 15 to 30 bucks, depending upon the quality and what everybody judges it, and what we're judging it. But if you're part of the Patreon, it does keep um, track of how much money you've spent and like who's spent it. So as long as you are, using your account or whatever, well, not your account, but like if you're using your name or something like that in the Discord, and you're like, oh yeah, I spent a total of $30. Well, honestly, it's like you've already paid me to play the game. So I mean, if it goes 15 to $30 on the Patreon, then I mean, obviously I'd give you the game for free. I might throw in like some special skins, maybe a little something something, like a little secret something. But I will be releasing a ebook for each game. And that's just that's just an OG thing. The ebooks are going to be in a specific channel. You can download them, and do what you want with them. But they're basically the comic book version of the game. There might be a little more in depth on the lore. There might be a little more action scenes in there or something. You never know. But I figure, giving you guys like an animated ebook would be kind of cool, and because it's an OG thing, I also want to do it for Draymond's Edge, Anecdote Repertoire, and probably, and Project Kiana. So that's that's four books, four ebooks for free because you guys originally signed on before we started the company and everything like that. That's just like a huge, and it feels like a huge thank you. Like you guys deserve a huge thank you for that. The other thing is, oh man, what was it? It was the credits, the credits. So every Low Key High Entertainment, I do want to mention the the donators in each game. So in the credits, if you guys, I'll personally come in and message you and be like, hey, what's your gamer tag or what do you want to go by, and then like when we, because I obviously don't want your full name or identity or anything like that, at least not posted on a game. That doesn't make any sense. So I think, if you have a Patreon name or a Discord name or something like that, and you want it in the game, we'll put it in the credits, and we'll keep those credits. We'll keep that page of credits for every game that we release. Because like you guys helped us start it up, so I think that's important. That even if we become a big gaming studio, that people should know that you did help support us, and we do constantly show you guys gratitude for that. So, but like I said, the Patreon's free to view. You can view anything that you want. And then if you do pay for the Patreon, I do feel obligated to give you guys something, and I will. I'll definitely fulfill that promise. But for now, it's more of like a if you want to help us out kind of thing. But that's anyway. That's what's going on with Low Key High Entertainment. We're working hard. We're doing really well on all the stuff and all the things. So you know, we're kind of keeping, yeah, keeping the pace going. So, anyway, I'm gonna end this video because it's way too freaking long, and yeah, I'm gonna go back to creating a game. So, you guys have a good one. Please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out, and everything made from the YouTube is split evenly between the devs. So that's really important. LowKey High Entertainment doesn't really take any money from it. I mean, it takes a profit, but that profit's obviously dispersed between equipment and making sure our devs have like updated computers and programs and things like that. So, um, but yeah, it does really help us out to hit that like and subscribe button. There's also a lot more on this Vortex RP thing. I have a 30-minute rant of legitimately, I'm pretty sure like 20 minutes of it is me freaking out and cussing. Uh, and I was just so mad yesterday. Like I was legitimately steamed. It was a action that went against everything that I stand for and that everything my company stands for, and it just, man, talk about grinding the gears. But if you want to hear that, by all means, join the Discord and check it out. I got it pinned under Vortex RP, so feel free to click it and have a good time for 30 minutes. Anyway, we'll see you later and have a good one.